Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the extra episode from White Album 2. This is an after story which occurs after Kazusa normal. So Haruki is severely depressed after being dumped by Kazusa. He ended up pushing away Setsuna because she has completely broken down trying to care for him, and he said, "I never want to see you again." And now Setsuna can barely leave the own house of her own volition because she's so heartbroken. Kazusa is trying to fulfill her mom's dying wish and is struggling with it, so everything's kind of a mess. But let's continue on from here. Kazusa Toma takes on a new world. This winter, Kazusa Toma, the pianist who caused a whirlwind in Japan, will finally resume her activities in earnest in Europe. Her opening shot will be a collaborative performance with the Franz Dupre Orchestra. Here on CS East Asia, we will be broadcasting exclusive live coverage of the concert. Kazusa? Now for our next news item. And of course, Kazusa finds her way into Setsuna's life. Not on purpose, but she did. Thank you for calling. This is the Japan branch of Yokohama offices. Unfortunately, our business operations are suspended at present. If this is an urgent matter, please call our headquarters in Europe. The number is... What the hell is going on, Miyoko-san? I hadn't been able to get through for 3 months now. Maybe the Japan branch had just shut down completely. I still wasn't able to visit with Mom, and there was only 1 week left before the concert. But right now, my voice wouldn't reach anyone. As I lay down on the bed, an unpleasant fatigue slowly spread through my whole body. Full orchestra rehearsals were getting more intense by the day, and I was so swamped that I barely had time to sleep. Just me, the conductor, and the strings. The brass section still amused itself playing cards, while the woodwinds, slightly more modern, had started playing fighting games against each other on portable consoles. But no one noticed, so no one got mad. This seems dumb to me. I'm not a conductor, obviously. I don't know how things actually go, but you would think you would want the whole band together to practice with only a week left to go. Well, of course, this was our 5th full orchestra rehearsal, but at this point, the collective amount of time they had spent playing was less than an hour. Really, they could have gotten angry and stopped showing up, but they simply paid no mind to my intermittent piano and the conductor's scathing criticism thereof, and continued to pass these idle hours day by day. How could an orchestra like this manage to keep existing? Or maybe I was the only one with problems. What's the big issue anyway? It wasn't a difficult piece at all. According to the score, I still hadn't made a single mistake. But this was the piece Mom had played most in her life. A piece that had been showered with applause in every corner of the globe. In other words, there must be deep, hidden nuances that didn't appear in the score itself. That stupid conductor wouldn't tell me. He just kept forcing repetitions, and no progress was going to be made until I could clear it. Maybe he was trying to tell me to listen to my own blood? There was 1 full rehearsal left. Sounds very insufferable. I would be very frustrated if I were Kazusa. Normally, with timing like this, if things had progressed this little, we would seriously consider just calling a halt to the whole thing. But this concert was not going to be halted, and it didn't seem like anybody was going to lose out in the end. Because, a few days ago, our concert had gained a sponsor. And not a local instrument-making company or a magazine, but a Japanese electronics company. The one that made the game consoles the woodwinds were playing on. Yes. Before I knew it, this concert had fallen to the status of Little Kazusa Toma's play recital, just like the conductor had said. And the moment we were guaranteed to end up in the black, his attitude changed completely. not amazing. Superb! I should have known the Japanese would come through. To think any company would throw away so much money on a shabby pianist. Truly, it is unfortunate that I, too, was not born Japanese. I heard that they were as serious as Germans, but they plainly aren't as frugal. Yes, of course, take all of the much time you need. Even if the concert is postponed, your brilliant sponsor will make everything work out. And so, his ways of criticizing me simply grew in variety. Really, how could anyone spend even a brief time with him? Mom's taste in men was really horrible. That is painful. But this is a life skill, learning how to work together with people that you hate. And in Kazusa's case, especially having to work face-to-face with somebody who won't even tell you what you're doing wrong, is extremely frustrating. So, for better or worse, it's a good life lesson. Hey, Mom, is my piano playing really just play? Oh, come on. You know perfectly well that you don't understand your own piano playing. Well, I suppose Japanese people are the ones who would pay the most to hear you play right now. I haven't been able to rehearse and converse very well with the piano since I got to Paris. That's a little weird. I don't think normal people would say things like that. It's just a metaphor, but I'll grant that I'm weird. So, what does your little piano have to say to you? The sound of the orchestra is repelling it, even though it's only played with the violins so far. Any idea what might be causing that? Well, obviously, it's because you aren't here. Kazusa, why won't you protect me? Why do you have to give me a trial like this? I'm sorry. You don't have to apologize. I just want you here with me. I want you to protect me. I'm sorry. Really. Oh, it's hard. But even now, even in Kazusa's kind of mental conversations with her mom like this, her mom still wants her to become independent. That's the number one reason for this. Kazusa just wants to be protected, but honestly, she needs to learn how to navigate life by herself before she can come together with someone else who can protect her. Yeah, I was weird. I could only interact with people in my imagination. I couldn't talk to the ones I loved because all of the ones I loved had grown apart from me. In the end, the only one remaining on my side was Flugel, my teacher. But I couldn't talk to him right now. I still hadn't told him about Mom's condition. If he were to learn that his favorite people might be on the verge of dying before he did, he could lose his own will to live for much longer. I really just don't have any friends. I had always rejected the world, even my mother, the few people who supported me, and I thought that I could live quietly in this tiny world. But maybe it was time for me to pay for persisting in such a selfish wish. Not 2 of us, but 3 of us, staying together. Had my punishment finally arrived for betraying her? The one who said that, who wanted to be my best friend. I wanted someone to listen to me, my story, my piano playing, to tell me that I was okay, that I was sure to succeed, that Mom would get better, even if it was a lie. Stop. My fingers moved on their own. Moved through the numbers that I had long since erased from my phone memory, that remained only in my own recollection. But I couldn't. I had sworn. Stop. That we would never see each other again. Never talk to each other again. Never love each other again. No. Why is everything so sad always? Why? It's beautiful. It's so sad. I Yokohama offices, European headquarters. There, in my memo pad, I had written down a long phone number, country code included. The number given mechanically by the answering machine for the Tokyo branch of the same company, which I had recorded just in case. Kazusa was working hard at it. Far harder than I was. She was trying to take flight in the world, trying to find her place as someone far away, to stand on a great big stage in Paris and perform in collaboration with an international orchestra. Meanwhile, I wasn't even performing on any small, local live music venue stages. It was absurd to make a comparison like that, but the fact remained that these two things were happening at the same time. Then what was I trying to do? And it's so sad. This is true of any person. People compare themselves to others and always think like, oh, they're doing these things. That's amazing. Like, I want to be able to do that. So at the same time, Setsuna is like, I really wish, Kazusa's doing all these amazing things. I wish I was. I wish I had that strength. And at the same time, Kazusa, the past 5 years, had been thinking, Setsuna was able to stay by Haruki's side. She was able to grow. She can cook. She can clean. She's amazing. Since the beginning, since introductory chapter, they have been so jealous of each other for so many different reasons, and they can't truly see the beauty in themselves. Not just looks-wise, but, like their skills, their personality, everything about them. They don't see it. And that is so sad. Why was I trying to get in touch with Kazusa? What did I expect to do if I talked to her? Why was I trying to throw this bomb at Kazusa when she had a once-in-a-lifetime performance waiting for her? I didn't know. Even I didn't know why I was doing it. But now that I knew Kazusa was going strong, now that I knew she was putting in good effort and getting good results, now that Haruki was suffering constantly after his separation from Kazusa, now that no one in Japan might be able to save him, now that I was on the verge of folding, now that it looked like I might not be able to support him anymore. What if all three of us knew about the other's current circumstances? What did she think of him now? Was she so busy, working hard, succeeding, that she didn't have time to think about that? Oh, trust me, she's thinking about it. Kazusa cannot stop thinking about it. And what was happiness for her? Now that she had finally managed to follow in her mother's footsteps, as she has longed to do since she was a child, was there no room for other happiness to wedge itself in? No, I knew. I was certain. However famous she might get, however much she might be acknowledged and loved by people all over the world, there was less than a handful of people Kazusa really wanted to love her. And being loved by those people was her greatest happiness. Then, if I weren't there, if I hadn't acted on my secret love, if I hadn't toyed with the thread of fate between the three of us, would Haruki-kun not have broken? Would he be happy with Kazusa? And what would I have done? Would I just have lived normally in a world without him? Surrounded by my same family, surrounded by some slightly different friends, would I have found my own sort of happiness? And of course, this is one of the biggest questions from fans from White Album 2. What would have happened if Haruki had got with Kazusa? And this question was so persistent in the fandom that Fumiaki Maruto-san actually wrote a side novel which addressed this, and it was specifically like, Setsuna never kissed him after the concert, never asked him out, he ends up getting with Kazusa, and you know what he does? He cheats on Kazusa with Setsuna. So you know what? As much as she doesn't know this, and how could you, getting with Kazusa wouldn't magically fix everything. Because he loved those two girls in such different ways, he was bound to cheat on the both of them. Because he wanted to have his cake and eat it too. So, to answer that question as an outsider, no, he would not have been happy with Kazusa. And would Haruki-kun and Kazusa be happier than they were now? Haruki-kun, his dependable self, and Kazusa, her adorable self. The two of them together naturally? If I hadn't been there, everything might have gone smoothly. Huh? And right before I pressed the final number, the phone on my desk rang. Why am I calling her? A forbidden number. The second on my list of numbers in Japan that I should never call. Setsuna's. Living happily with Haruki in Japan. Living in society among lots of other people. The one I admired, the exact opposite of me. The one who had been my best friend. The first I ever had. Oh, if only you knew just how happily they were living. Huh. But I had destroyed that. Betrayed her. Not once, but twice. She could tear me to pieces and I wouldn't say anything. I must have been out of my mind trying to get in touch with her. And yet, Setsuna. I wanted to hear her voice. I wanted to feel the air of 6 years before. I wanted her to give me some energy, some happiness, no matter how small. Even if she wanted to brag about her love life with Haruki. Yes, even that would be enough. But it looked like it was all in vain. The phone had rung, and she wasn't picking up. She must have erased this hateful number from her address book. And even if she did see my name on the screen, no, that would be all the more reason for her not to pick up. Hey, Kazusa. Setsuna. Of all the coincidences, your number's still the same, huh? Yours too. And you didn't erase me from your address list. Of course I didn't. I would never. Thanks. No. The only coincidence was in the timing. Our exchanging words like this, at this time in our lives, must have been an inevitability. Well, they say they have that red string of fate. It's not often that 3 people are tied together by it, but in this case, they definitely have been. It's been forever, huh? Yeah, like 6 years. Wow. Come to think of it, the past winter, we never, in Strasbourg or in Japan. I did see your concert, though. The additional one. You were incredible, Kazusa. I saw you perform, too. You were dazzling. Thank you. But now, all of that was meaningless. I couldn't do any shows. I would never dazzle anyone again. Aw, spoken like a true heartbroken person. You will dazzle again. You will sing again. Everything will be fine. Oh, yeah, you're in Paris right now, right? That must make it 5 in the evening where you are? Oh, right. Sorry. It must be the middle of the night for you. No worries. It's Saturday. I have tomorrow off. Oh, that's good. Paris, though. A concert in Paris? You've made it, Kazusa. I knew the excitement in my voice was slipping. I knew it was obvious. No, this was wrong. This would only increase the distance between us. Our hearts would move farther apart. I wouldn't be able to talk like this. Not about how Haruki-kun was doing, not about how I was doing. I've made it? The concert isn't until next week. Setsuna was wrong. Neither of them know that the other person is breaking down and falling apart. Neither of them understand each other. But right now, all they have, in a way, is each other. So it's two broken people trying to comfort each other. I was completely useless now. I was about to lose everything. My last leaf was about to fall. Well, you're playing with a super famous orchestra, right? Even that fact alone means you've already succeeded. Yes, and the fact that they're famous means that if I screw this up, they'll never have anything to do with me again. You don't know tough audiences are here. You'll be fine. I know you can do it. Don't just throw stuff like that out. Ah, sorry. I got excited. What was she doing? That wasn't right. I was the one who should be apologizing. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be getting mad at you over that. Had I forgotten what I did to Setsuna? If I didn't apologize, I couldn't move forward. I wouldn't be able to get her to listen to me. Yeah, I mean, not that Setsuna's gonna accept anything and she'll just be like, it's fine, I already forgot about it, whatever. But holy cow, like Kazusa did a lot and it wrecked her relationship and it wrecked Haruki. I'm not saying it's all her fault, right? The blame, a lot of it lies with Haruki. But oh yeah, talking after that and just kind of acting like everything's normal is a little bit strange. It would just end in basic greetings and life updates. I wouldn't be able to carry out my reason for screwing up my courage and calling in the first place. So what was I getting mad for? No, I slipped. I shouldn't have said what I did. Really, I'm sorry. Setsuna. And you'll be fine. I know you can do it, Kitahara. Why did Setsuna have to remember that too? Why not just me? So how have you been doing? Oh, I'm good. I've been pretty busy lately. Now that I'm into my second year, they don't give me the rookie treatment anymore. You're doing PR for a record company, right? Man, that's cool. Must be a tough job. Not really. I mean, I guess we are a little short-handed, though. Stupid. What was I even talking about? Why was I trying to get in touch with Kazusa in the first place? And what was the point of lying? I wasn't good. I was far from fine. So, yeah? And now the conversation wasn't even going anywhere. I knew what Kazusa wanted to ask, but I kept lying, keeping everything a secret. Why couldn't I bring Haruki-kun up? Well, it's a pretty sore subject. Let's start there. Also, what are you going to say? Yeah, Haruki-kun's doing horrible, and so am I. And just kind of dump all that stress onto Kazusa right now? Not exactly the best thing for her in her predicament. Listen, Setsuna? Uh-huh. Sorry. Huh? I had no right to call you, but I was too shameless not to do it anyway. That's not true. You haven't done anything to apologize for. Setsuna. Nothing at all. Again. I'd done it again. I hadn't stopped Kazusa's apology because I genuinely believed it was unnecessary. I was just scared. If she apologized, that would mean I lost. And this is a very Setsuna-like thing to do. She doesn't want to hear bad news. Whether it's Haruki breaking up with her in certain routes, whether it's, Kazusa leaving, and just like anything bad that's about to happen to Setsuna, she kind of talks over it. Even Haruki trying to kick her out a few months ago, she was like, it's okay, I gotta vacuum, I don't want to talk right now. It's okay, I gotta do dishes, don't want to talk right now. It's not healthy. I would be forced to tell her about how Haruki-kun had been, even though I'd been wanting to get in touch with her specifically to talk about him. I had been prepared to lose from the start. Still, I froze. My fear halted my ability to think. Even though, for me, for Haruki-kun, and for Kazusa, this could be a path to search for new happiness. Even so, I was afraid that the path to ruin would open to me alone. I was as horribly selfish as ever. Because it is a very realistic thought that Kazusa could come back, save Haruki, make him feel better, and then Setsuna would just be left. That is a very real thought to her. So rather than risk that and just think, oh, well, maybe all three of us could be happy, she doesn't want to take the risk of her being the only one left being unhappy. It is pretty selfish. Though, as an ex-girlfriend, I would not call the other ex-girlfriend and try to make them happy either. But maybe that is just selfishness. Oh, your little brother is at Hojo University now, right? Everyone in your family is so impressive. Impressive? Not at all. He couldn't even get an endorsement from the high school, and he barely scraped by in the general entrance exam. Is that a jab at me for barely scraping by until graduation without getting anywhere near an endorsement? Oh, right. I forgot about that. You little... Sorry. Oh, so changing the subject. Yeah. After that, our conversation continued sticking to inoffensive topics. Fair. Though we talked about high school, we didn't touch on our study group or the school festival. When talk turned to my concert, I didn't bring up my mother. I couldn't close the distance between myself and Setsuna. Maybe because it had been so long. Well, of course I couldn't. I was still a shut-in in my 20s. Now what? I wanted to ask about Haruki. I wanted to know if he was happy, if he was working hard. I wanted to talk about how I was really doing. About Mom, the concert, the future. I wanted her to hear just a bit of it, to understand just a bit of it. And this is important because you can have friends that you can small talk with all you want, but it's important to have people who you can tell how you're really feeling. You can be like, look, I'm actually having a really rough time right now, and you can kind of vent to them. You need people close to you that you can do that with. And she wants to do that with Setsuna, but obviously with 6 years separating their last conversation, that's pretty hard to kind of jump right into. It's about time. Huh? Oh, yeah, it is getting a little late. Sorry to keep yammering on when you're so busy. Oh, no, I didn't mean... No, never mind. If I asked about that, my sins would graze up against Setsuna's wounds again. It would just be circling around again. Thanks, Setsuna, for talking to me. I couldn't even let out one complaint. I couldn't tell her any of my worries. I couldn't ask about Haruki. Nothing came of this call. Call me again sometime, okay? You too. Yeah. No, that wasn't true. I got to talk to Setsuna. I wasn't able to apologize, but Setsuna accepted it. We may have both been wearing our masks. We may not have been able to reconcile yet, but she still laughed. That was enough. Now I could throw myself into it again, starting tomorrow. Good night. Good night. So. No, that wasn't true. Setsuna, I'm sorry. Huh? I'm so sorry, Kazusa. I don't know if I can do it. Setsuna. My mind went blank. I don't know if I can save Haruki-kun. I don't know if I can save our man. Our man. That's so cringy. That's so bad. Oh my god. That's so weird. I don't like the way that's written. I can picture the sentence in Japanese, and it's so much less awkward than saying our man in English. Of course, it is the right translation. There's no way to say it. It's just my man. You know, like people don't really say that. Oh, it's so weird. I'm sorry, that completely broke my immersion. Oy, oy, oy. I think I'm gonna have to stop there, actually. This is a very emotional scene, but that was just so out of nowhere. Yeah, I think we'll actually stop there. Because, you know, it is a good point. Setsuna and Kazusa are finally talking about Haruki, which is a good relief to break Setsuna out of this cycle, which she is stuck in right now. And Kazusa, it might give her that push that she needs, right? She's stuck. She's doing everything to a T. She's playing this song as it's meant to be played, but the emotion that she needs is not there. And so this is going to be important for both of them to kind of break out of where they're stuck right now. So I do think that's a nice place to leave off. So thank you so much for joining me on this episode of White Album 2's extra episode, and I'll be back with the next part shortly. Until then, hope you take care. See you.